Chapter 14. Victor parked behind Jack's red sedan in the manor's driveway and inspected the whites of his eyes in the rearview mirror. They were noticeably better. He grabbed a pack of cigarettes from the car's glove compartment before stepping out of his vehicle. Michael and Alexander immediately made their way to the front door, while Jack took his time exiting his car. Victor watched as he exited his vehicle and opened one of the back doors. "Hey!" Jack called out. Victor's attention spit from retrieving a cigarette to the black eyes of the demon. Jack held up 2 cigars. "I've still got the good cigars. Come out to the gazebo and indulge yourself a little. 5 minutes is all I ask to prove I'm still the man you've known for years." Victor looked back to his cigarettes and began pulling one out. "I'm not going anywhere, Victor. And if you force Michael to choose between us, I don't think you'll enjoy the answer." Victor wordlessly walked toward Jack. Jack smiled and offered a cigar. Victor snatched it from him and continued into the backyard. He pulled his metal lighter from his pocket. The twin blue flames could barely be seen in the daylight until he held the end of the cigar to them. He sat in one of the chairs as he puffed the brown cylinder alive without inhaling. "I ought to get myself one of those." Jack gestured to Victor's lighter. "How often do you have to refill it?" Victor flicked his wrist, and the lighter snapped shut. He drew upon the cigar and released the smoke in Jack's direction. Jack responded with another smile. He pulled a cheap plastic lighter from his pocket and spent a moment ensuring the flame took. "Funny how quickly you've grown to hate me. Makes a man wonder whether if it's about me at all, or whether you simply can't stomach what Michael is." Victor's grimace fractured. "I love and will support my brother no matter what stupid decisions he makes." Jack marinated in the still smoke that surrounded him. "You remind me of 2 or 3 brothers I had." "What?" Victor asked. Smoke gushed from Jack. "After enough years, lives and siblings begin to blur together." "Lives?" Victor pressed. "None of them were entirely mine. But for a time, I wore them well enough to become one with them. Families, friends, jobs, obsessions, etc., all settled into me." "What do you mean they weren't entirely yours?" Jack rolled the cigar slowly between his fingers. "We're not born, Victor. We occupy." "Occupy what?" Jack tapped ashes away. "Lives," he finished. "Like a fucking house? What happens to the original owner?" "They move on to wherever they are meant to go. There's no suffering in it, no slow decay, no experience of growing frail while loved ones watch." Jack turned his cigar around and stared at the soft glow. "Jack moved on 4 years ago, Victor. But his memories remained. His mind remained." He turned his cigar back around and brought it to his lips. "You sound like you've convinced yourself there's nothing wrong with robbing people of their lives," Victor replied. The ashes at the end of his cigar had accumulated as evidence of his focus on the black-eyed monster sitting across from him. "Far from it." Jack stared out into the backyard. "Humanity softened me long ago." He sighed. "Jack's mother feels like my mother. I remember her walking me into school my first day. I remember sneaking out as a teenager, leaving the Republic for America. The loneliness that came after." He cleared his throat. "And I remember I was there for none of it. He was." Silence settled between them. "Jack died because of me, Victor. Everything I feel now, the satisfaction I take in my work, the love I have for your brother, all of it's poisoned by the knowledge that it was never meant to belong to me." Victor flinched as ashes fell from his neglected cigar, He brushed the residue off a knee. "Does Michael know?" A frown formed on Jack's solemn expression. "No, we haven't discussed any of this. When people choose to overlook the marks of hell, they don't forget what I am. Not entirely. The edges are simply softened. The mind dulls whatever it cannot comfortably survive. He won't interrogate me. That's why I'm giving you the chance." Jack looked down at the ember glowing between his fingers. "I know what I am sounds monstrous to ye, but what I feel for your brother is real, Victor. Real enough that I'm sitting here asking for your trust instead of simply taking what I want." "What have you done with all your time?" Victor asked. "What misery have you spread? What makes a demon a demon?" Smoke spilled from Jack's lips. "Hell, under Lucifer's reign, exists in opposition to God, Victor. Every cruelty, every corruption, every ugliness, all of it's merely distance from the divine." He tapped ash from his cigar. "And my kind is currently expected to widen that distance." "Currently?" Victor pressed. "Lucifer was once God's favored son, the greatest of us. Then humanity was created, and envy twisted him into something else. He rebelled against God's will and promised the rest of us what humanity had been given freely. Choice." A defeated smile crossed his face. "Hell, with Lucifer as our ruler, was the price we paid." Victor realized that the sulfur smell had become barely detectable. The darkness where Jack's eyes belonged remained, but somehow seemed less repugnant. "And you sought us out to do something about that?" he asked. Jack snuffed out the remainder of his cigar in the glass ashtray and cleared his throat. "Every angel bears a single mite, and some angels pass down theirs through certain bloodlines. Yours among them." Jack leaned back. "They come in 3 forms: strength, meaning, and will. 3 reflections of God himself." Smoke from Victor's neglected cigar drifted into the night air. "Strength grants the power to protect and endure. Meaning binds individuals together through love, purpose, and compassion. And will," he smiled faintly, "will reveals truth and gives men the freedom to choose what they become." His expression darkened. "Your family, and others like it, exist because heaven cannot directly wage war against Lucifer's corruption. Men like you were meant to stand where angels cannot." Silence settled briefly between them. "But your side's losing, Victor. The bloodlines are dying out, and hell's influence grows stronger with every generation." Jack looked toward the house. "If something doesn't change soon, the end of everything will be upon us." More ashes fell from Victor's cigar. He brushed his pants off. Right. You want to be top dog in hell, is that it?" "I want Lucifer's reign to end. I want the fallen freed from his cruelty, and mankind spared what's coming." Jack's materializing eyes stared into Victor. "I want peace with heaven." The remains of his sulfuric stench were swept away in the breeze. "But Lucifer cannot be stopped by angels alone. It requires 3 men blessed with the mites of strength, meaning, and will, together. It's the only thing capable of pushing back the end of everything." Alexander and Michael exited the manor through its sliding glass door. Victor looked from Jack's now fully visible eyes to his approaching brothers. "You forgot the beers." "We can go," Alexander began. "It's fine," Victor interrupted. "No one's dead. What a relief," Michael said. He sat next to Jack. "We needed to have a talk, love." Jack said. Michael looked to Victor. And how did that go? Victor blew smoke to the side. No one's dead. Well, that's good, Alexander exclaimed. He remained standing. Maybe, Michael answered. Victor and Jack exchanged glances. Michael and I have been talking about the idea of everyone living here, Alexander said. Excitement highlighted his words and matched his full smile. It would be a lot safer, Michael explained. Jack, you told me we're targets now, right? We need to stick together at least until we understand how things are going to be different going forward. Alexander caught Victor's eyes with his. I know this is crazy, big brother, but I don't want you to be alone. It's dangerous. Michael looked to Jack. You are part of the deal. It's either both of us or neither. Live here? Jack asked. A laugh escaped him. I've always wanted to live in a mansion. All three brothers cringed. Come on, Victor, Alexander begged. You could live in your old room. Victor shifted his sitting position and opened his mouth to speak, but his breath escaped him. The sliding glass door opened, and Cassius stepped into the backyard. Where the fuck have you been? Victor's voice nearly cracked. Golfing, Victor, Cassius responded. Was I missed? Dude, I told you he was golfing. Alexander rolled his eyes.